All right, this is another edition of Prep Sports Now, the high school football podcast brought to you by Las Vegas Sun and Las Vegas Sun Sports. I'm Ray Brewer. Special guest today, a special teams guru, again, back-to-back weeks, assistant coach at Moapa Valley High School, Denzel Daniels, my friend. We follow each other on Instagram. You send me your pics every week before I do mine. Welcome to the show, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Yep. And, of course, we are sponsored by the A's and Las Vegas Aviators. We appreciate their support of high school football and everything we do at the Sun. And Coach Daniels, for me, I love having people on from various levels of football. And I have such a huge respect for everything you guys do in Overton, but I can never pronounce the name of the school right. What is wrong with me? Say it so everybody can hear it.
I pronounce it as Moapa Valley.
Moapa. Coach Lewis has been down my throat for years to get it right, and I'm so happy to have you on the show because it's a big week in the 3A, Virgin Valley and Slam play, and up north, Truckee has a big game with Elko, and we're going to learn a lot about what's going to be a real fun playoff bracket. I know 3 weeks ago, Coach Mike over at Slam said that the 3A sometimes feels like the SEC, and I just want to know, who is Vandy in this whole situation, and how fun is that league to be part of?
That's a great question. Who's Vandy? But it is 3A is a great league to be a part of, a great division. Honestly, it's any given Sunday or any given Friday, or for this week, any given Thursday. It's some great games going on this coming week. I'm definitely excited, but we got to take care of our business first. But I'm definitely excited to see what the outcome is with Slam Mesquite and also Elko and Truckee on Friday night.
Okay, so when I was a kid, I played at Shap, and when we would play and I'm 30 years older than you probably, right? But when we would play, or maybe 20 years older than you, when we would play at Basic or at Boulder City, we would have to drive up Boulder Highway, and it felt like we were going to Arizona, and we were just going and going forever. You guys have to go to Pahrump and Boulder, and sometimes you got to go to Truckee. How big is the travel in that league? Do I look too much into it, or is it really impactful?
It really depends on the mindset of the team, honestly. When it comes to having to travel to Boulder, the team to the east, I call them the team to the east, Pahrump, it's just, I feel like that's a little more simpler because we're used to it. We're used to the drive. But it's all about the player's mindset at the end of the day, how they're going to take that drive on the bus. Are they going to play around? Are they going to focus in and then get there and get the job done?
Okay.
But I'll say going to Truckee, going up north, that's a different animal right there for sure because you're on the bus for hours.
Okay, so why is it so hard for everybody to play at Pahrump? Or is that just me?
That's a great question. It's a great atmosphere up there. The community really backs the high school teams, especially football. So it's just, I believe, to me, it's really just that drive. Are the kids going to focus? Are they going to let the bus drive get to them? Because it's so easy for kids, especially high school boys, to lose focus and goof off on the bus. So it just depends on the mindset and how they come into the game. Are they overlooking the team? Especially traveling to Pahrump, you can never think of records, because it's, again, any given day,
Mm-hmm. So this is Prep Sports Now, Ray Brewer with Coach Daniels from Moapa Valley, talking all things high school football. And the thing that I'm very intrigued to get your feedback on is we're kind of getting towards the back half of the season, and when the clock starts shifting a little bit, even though it's still 100 degrees out, do some teams realize when the end might be near, and do you think that might impact a Friday night when you've got a team like what you guys are doing, and you know that you could go on a run? You guys are ready to go every night, but then you might run into another team where they're looking forward to the winter sports.
Um, I can't speak for other teams, but I know for us, we're always letting the boys know, hey, like especially right now it's division play. We don't. There's no tomorrow, especially in the 3A division, especially in the South, or even you can say the North. There's no tomorrow. You want to capitalize and try to get better each week now. Because again, they just a couple losses on in a division can drop you out of the playoffs at the very bottom.
Got it. Absolutely. So the Class 5A Division One has some great games this week.
Yes.
Arbor View at Bishop Gorman, right? So
yes.
Bishop Gorman has played against 1,000 Division One quarterbacks over the years. Not many of them from Las Vegas, like Thaddeus Thatcher. They also don't usually see a local team that's got D1 wide receiver, D1 linebacker, D1 tight end. And this is like, I don't know what to think of this game. Is it going to be close? Is Arbor View going to, because remember last year, Arbor didn't play Gorman because they had their one-game suspension for the Desert Pines fight. So
yeah.
Is Arbor going to do what Arbor does? Are they going to try to sling it around on Gorman? I do believe that Gorman has Arbor on its radar, and I'm just so intrigued by this game. What do you think is going to happen?
I agree as well. So I'm an Arbor View alumni, so I want to see the Aggies pull it off. I would love to see the Aggies beat the mighty Bishop Gorman. But again, it's going to come down to the mindset. You're playing Gorman, the team that recruits, that does all these things that people say. Are you going to let that bother you, or are you going to say, you know what, they got to put their pads on like us, and we're just got to play? But I'm definitely intrigued about that game as well. I would love to see my Aggies get a W for sure.
Absolutely. So, what years were you at Arbor? Because I got a great question that I think you might be able to answer for me.
Yeah. So I played under Dan Barnes, and I graduated in 2012. Okay.
So I remember there was one year when Gorman's homecoming game got canceled. And Arbor agreed to go over there and play them.
Yeah.
Were you in that game?
Yes, sir. That was my senior year. I remember that year like it was yesterday. I believe Western got in trouble for hazing.
Correct.
And Coach Dan Barnes like, hey, we guys want to play Gorman? I'm like, yeah, we want to play Gorman. It's for the homecoming. Like, let's do it. And it was fun. It was a fun atmosphere. I feel like that years of Gorman was probably the better years of Gorman in my opinion. I hold a new Solomon like really high on when it comes to the quarterbacks that came out of Gorman for sure.
My favorite quarterback, absolutely from Bishop Gorman, and I always find it weird that like every week, pick your favorite team, you line up and you play a certain way, and then it gets time to play Bishop Gorman, and all of a sudden, just the fact that you have to face them. You get out of everything that you want to do, right? You don't run your play. And I've never been able to figure that mentality out.
Again, it goes back to that mindset. Are you going to let, because they have the cool uniforms, they have great coaches, they have great players, are you going to let that get in your head and say, we just take this loss, or we can go out there and give it our best and try to put up a game and see what happens when there was zeros on the board after the fourth quarter, So it's just the mindset, like I remember when I was in high school, it's the same thing. You try to find that mindset. We're going to play Gorman. Are we going to lay down? Are we going to just put our pads on and give it our best,
Yeah. So I've said this repeatedly, but if I'm a kid and I want to go play like college football, right? Yeah. I want to play Gorman 10 times because I want to get the film of me guarding whomever. I'm going against a kid going to Miami or a kid going to LSU, and I want to guard them and I want to get film. And to Gorman's credit, they do a phenomenal job of directing colleges to other schools. And I just think it's invaluable, in my opinion.
I agree.
So
they have a great head coach over there. I get to talk to him every time I see him, and that guy is awesome. I love that guy. He's always respectful, to us, and it's the feeling's mutual. I love what he's doing. Anytime Gorman plays a team out of state, I'm definitely rooting for him.
Correct. And I don't know if you know this, but Coach Browner does a great job talking with Coach Lewis when they play. They got a good pipeline. So I just find that guy to be such a good ambassador, that he's always messaging to check up on teams, and I find that I find that just awesome. Other games in the top division, Liberty Desert Pines. As you know, you've listened to the show. I love me some Desert Pines.
Yes.
And they are very, very young. And Liberty is, had the bye week trying to get back on track, get healthy, maybe go on a run of its own. It's going to be it's Liberty Desert Pines. For a decade, that's been, two of the top 5 teams in town. This is a great game, and there's a lot of talent on the field, although it's probably going to be not developed.
Yeah, I believe Liberty might take that game. Desert Pines is young. I believe they had 5 freshmen starting on the D line, so they're definitely a team to not overlook and to be worried about in the coming years as those guys get older, and hopefully they don't get any players taken by Sierra Chang anymore.
Yes. I'm a Pittsburgh Pirate baseball fan, and I know how Desert Pines feels because anytime they get a good player, they get scooped up by some other school. So they feel kind of like a feeder team, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Listen, we're talking about the games already. Why don't we just do the picks
Let's do it.
and get that? So your picks, you include some of the charter schools that I've kind of I've just avoided for a little bit because either they're not eligible for the playoffs or whatever the situation may be. But we'll start with the top game. Your Arbor View Aggies and Bishop Gorman. Who do you got?
I love my Aggies, but I have to take Gorman on this one. That your whole mindset, the best player, and I believe Gorman has the best player on the field.
They might have the best 5 players on the field. So somewhere, I am interested to see like how many tackles does Christian Thatcher have. Do they keep Thaddeus Thatcher, upright so he could complete some passes? But I actually think Gorman makes a statement in this game and they win big, for whatever that's worth. Next game, very, very intriguing. Legacy against Faith Lutheran. Legacy, not only did they beat Shadow last week, they put a little can on them. And Faith is undefeated. I think Faith might not lose this year. This is going to be a really, really, really good game. Who do you have?
So I have Faith as well. That Legacy and Shadow game last week really threw me off because I thought Shadow Ridge was probably the second best team down south. But Legacy has something else to say about that. But I do have Faith. I think they have the best quarterback, and I think it's their state championship to lose, honestly.
Yeah, Alex Rogers is playing great for them, and you're right. It is Faith's championship to lose. I got Faith 24, Legacy 22, although my best player on the field, Dominic Oliver, theory might come back and bite me, but Faith 24, Legacy 22. Next up, Foothill at Basic, the battle for Boulder Highway. This is down in my neck of the woods. Kids grow up playing against each other in youth football. A fun night in Henderson. If you believe the Gorman hangover theory, like I do, I've got Foothill winning because they're the better team, but this is going to be close because the neighborhood rivalry and because on Saturday, 5 days before a game is going to be played, Foothill had to play Gorman.
Yes, I agree. I got Foothill, but I got it in a close one, maybe 10 points if that. But again, it's a rivalry game, so anything can happen, Foothill, they're good. They always have a good passing game. It's just it just kind of stinks because they're in that top division, And I wish I could have seen this team in the Division II, like how they were last year. But I do have Foothill winning this game.
Correct. That's the problem with realignment is that it's based off your last 2 years, and more than likely you've graduated all the players that have helped you be good over the last 2 years. So
yeah, and Nathan Dew is a really good family friend. I call him my nephew, and I told him I'm choosing Foothill for this week. So
okay, well, Foothill is where my kids are zoned for school, so I guess I'm taking Foothill as well. Next up is that Liberty DP game, of course. I got the Patriots getting back on track. Looking forward to seeing them be the best versions of themselves.
I do as well. I got Liberty as well, and I got them maybe by 2 to 3 touchdowns.
Okay, we're on the same page. Canyon Springs hosting my Shap Cowboys. Canyon's on a little 2-game winning streak. They put a can of on Del Sol last week, and I have them beating my Cowboys, who didn't look good at all against Valley.
Yeah, if slamming the team that East wasn't playing, I'd have had this as game of the week, honestly. I do have Canyon Springs winning, but I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a block. It's going to be a close game, honestly.
Okay. I got it 20-11, so we're kind of on the same wavelength.
Yes.
Okay, next game, Eldo at Valley. El Dorado has yet to win a game as the Firehawks. So maybe they could channel some of the Sun Devils and come back against Valley. Going to be probably a close game, but I got El Dorado.
I have El Dorado as well. This is the game they get one in the win column for sure.
Alrighty. Next up, this is a good game. Sunrise Mountain is the best winless team in America. They just can't piece it together. Vegas, returning from its trip played an Arizona team and lost. I got Vegas by 10, but I think this game could be close.
I'm taking your Kitty Cats. I feel like they bounced back from playing a team that had better players, better competition. And I feel like they can have a bounce back game. And I feel like this is also their championship, their state to lose as well. Their state championship to lose.
Correct. Okay, next game, D.O., who had a bye last week against Centennial. I got Desert Oasis, but I think this is going to be a high-scoring, decent game.
So on this one, I actually chose Centennial because the score they had against Clark really shocked me. I had Clark winning last week, so I'm gonna sit that Centennial Bulldog T this week and take Centennial.
We finally differed on something, and I'm glad you bring up Clark. They are a very good young team from the middle of the city. Next up, Cheyenne at Mojave. Man, I tell you about Mojave. I was out at one of their spring practices. I was like, golly, this is a big team, man.
Yeah.
And then they have just delivered all year. So shout out to that staff over there. Mojave's good. I can't wait for that Somerset Mojave game, but I've got the Rattlers winning this one.
You took the words out of my mouth. I cannot wait for the next week when they play Losi. I feel like it's between those two teams that's going to win the 4A. Mojave does look good, and I do work out of Cheyenne High School, but I got to be real. I got Mojave big.
Yeah, and I love Marcus, what he's done over there. Good man, and I'm glad he's with those boys. This is a game we're going to have to talk about now. Shadow Ridge at Green Valley. I've seen both of these teams play. Who do you got?
So I'm hung on this one as well. I did choose Green Valley, but Foster was my coach at Arbor View when he was there. I love Travis. I love what he's doing with Shadow Ridge. I do have Green Valley, but I would not be surprised if Shadow can squeeze a win out of this.
Okay, so two very good coaches. Bill Powell is the man at Green Valley. Those guys are playing great. And Shadow's got that misdirection rush attack, and I just don't see Green Valley slowing it down. I'm picking Shadow only, and I hate that they got to travel to Henderson for the game. And I know that the defense for Shadow's been a disaster all year, especially defending the pass. But I just don't see Green Valley stopping the run, period.
Yeah, I think it'd be a close game. That's what I believe. I picked Green Valley, but I would not be surprised if Shadow Ridge comes out with a W.
All right, Sierra Vista at Palo. PV got it done last week against Silverado, and this is my anyone has a coin game. I got Palo winning by a point.
It's actually my flip a coin as well, and it landed on the head, which was Palo Verde, so I'm taking PV as well.
Okay, Sierra's probably going to roll to prove us wrong. By the way, I went undefeated last week, for the record. Okay. Next up, Bonanza against Western. I got Bonanza. I'd love to see Western get a dub, but I don't. He's got his hands full over there, obviously.
Yeah, I love Brett Rittenauer. We're teammates at Arbor View. His senior year was my junior year. but I got to be real. I'm taking Bonanza. I'm taking Coach Mack and those guys with their Bonanza. Coach Mack also, his sons play with me at Arbor View as well, so it'll be kind of like a homecoming game for both coaches, honestly, playing each other. But I definitely have Bonanza.
Okay, we agree there. Next up is Somerset against Rancho. Obviously, Losey's banged up, but Rancho's not beating anybody in town this year.
Yeah, I have Losey, and I have running clock coming third quarter.
Yeah, I would agree with you. That's a no-brainer. Okay, next game, Slam against Virgin. Obviously, you're a little biased here. Well, maybe not. You probably dislike both teams equally.
Yeah, not biased. Dislike both of them. I call that Mesquite team. I call them team to the east. They do have a good team. They have a great quarterback, sophomore, and Colby Perry. I was there known since season pull-ups. I'm taking Slam, but that's because you got to knock them off. They won the last 2 years. You have to knock them off, and until they get beat, I have to choose them. Do I believe Mesquite can do it? Yes, I do. But then I'm also wondering what Mesquite team is going to show up.
Correct.
And I feel like that's what's going to come down to. What team's going to show up? Can they limit Damian Neville? Can they limit that quarterback? But the biggest thing is, can you limit number 12?
Correct. Listen. I thought so. Obviously, when you guys played Slam, I was at the game, and I don't know if you guys limited him as much as they just decided not to use him.
That game still haunts me. I'm not gonna lie to you, but you got to live life and just move on. And so I'm definitely intrigued by this game for sure. One of my best friends, Terrence Levy, he's a assistant coach up there. They coach the team to the east, and he's kind of said that I picked Slam, but hey, look, man, if this one knocks them off, you got to make them. You got to choose them.
Okay,
do I believe it can happen? Yes, I do.
So this game's at Virgin. I've got Virgin, just because I'm rooting for chaos in the league. So I'll take Virgin. Next game you can't pick. It's your team Mawapa at Pahrump. I say closer than you think. 26-15.
I'm biased. I won't pick, sir.
Okay. Next game, Coronado against in California. I hate this spot for Coronado. I hate traveling this late in the season against San Clemente, California.
Ooh. I'm not sure on this one. I know your theory is to pick a team in California, and I might have to take your theory and do that and choose San Clemente.
Well, that's what I did. So I picked San Clemente.
Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you, everybody, for listening. And thank you again to the A's and Las Vegas Aviators for their sponsorship of Prep Sports Now, a Las Vegas Sun podcast. Again, if you'd like to be a guest on Prep Sports Now, hit me up on Twitter at RayBrewer21. And be like Coach Daniels and be part of the Prep Sports Now guest host. Everybody is second to Coach Talish Nation.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Have a good.
I appreciate what you do, Ray. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It makes my beginning of the week. It makes my Mondays better. And keep doing what you're doing. We have your back out here in Mawapa, and go Pirates.
Thanks, guy. Have a good day, man.
Yes, sir.